Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. See your life in a new light. I'm Ulrika Sullivan, and I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach. Today, we're going to talk about how to get unstuck in life and move on. And I'm going to emphasize specifically the moving on part, because after this episode, you are going to be on your way. I have also put together, to support you even more, I've put together a worksheet that you can go and download. And the link for that is below. And within this worksheet, you're going to get 10 powerful questions to work through the path towards moving on. And in today's episode, I'm going to take you through the 3 first questions. And then if you feel called to, you can go ahead and download and work through the remaining 7 questions. So let's start first where you may be at today. And feeling unstuck is a very common feeling, but the moving on part is even more frustrating, right? So maybe it's a relationship that you feel stuck in. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's another thing in your life that you just have not been able to move past. And when we feel unstuck, we all sometimes also feel really boxed in. And what that does is that we're thinking very short term. So I invite you today to bring your energy to a higher frequency and take a bird's eye view, like up here. Bring your energy to a bird's eye view instead of having the tunnel vision on. And when you are up there in the bird's eye view, you can also see more clearly your situation objectively. Because I want to invite you also to ask yourself the question, where is it in my life where I have not made that inner commitment to myself? Because when we're not moving on, there is a lack of commitment, inner commitment. And sometimes it's easy to say, like, this is a yes or a no, but this is a really important commitment comes from the inside. Making that inner commitment to yourself may be the hardest part. And it is really something that you have to ask yourself, do I want to move on or do I not? But for the simplicity of the episode today, let's say that yes, you say yes to move on. And so what you may ask yourself, where do I start in this process of creating more certainty, bringing in more certainty to the situation so that I don't have to feel so much fear? And most of all, how would this change look like for me? So are you ready? I am going to take you through the 3 first questions in this worksheet. And if you feel called, go download the worksheet and continue with the next 7 questions. All right, so are you ready? Ready for question number 1. Question number 1 is, describe in detail the issue that you're stuck on. Because so many times there is not a full picture of what the issue is. And again, I invite you to bring yourself to that bird's eye view and look down at your life and this issue that you're stuck on from a bird's eye view, bringing up the vibration and frequency of your bigger picture thinking. But the important part here is to write it down. Write it down, because when we're writing things down, it becomes real. So I'd like you to spend a few minutes just to describe the issue that you're stuck on to begin with. And keep in mind, bring in this high bird's eye view, objective view, and focus on yourself, because often it's easy to really see others' involvement. But start with yourself. What is it within you that you need to get unstuck with. The second question is, what would it cost to me to stay in the situation where I'm at now? It's so important to bring in the perspective of what you're sacrificing by not moving ahead. And even if you made that inner commitment to yourself, let's say that you are moving on, a very important perspective is, what is it that the current situation is costing me? Maybe it is your happiness. Maybe it is your motivation. Maybe it is your inspiration that it's costing you. And this perspective of what the situation, this issue that you're stuck on is, what is it costing you, brings the backdrop to moving on later on in the process. And the third question is, what would happen if I made this change? And here again, bring yourself to that bird's eye view and look down on the situation and see it as it already happened. Describe what would happen and what is your involvement, your impact on yourself if you make that change. And naturally, yes, when we are moving on from things, there are naturally other people involved and who are getting impacted, yes. But before you have a clear commitment to yourself on what would happen if you made a change, and a clarity that you can see the opportunity presented to you. And all of this is a exercise of self-reflection and taking the time to really describe a situation that have not yet happened, but you have it here. You have that inner commitment to yourself to move on, and that is eliminating that uncertainty. You're creating more certainty by bringing yourself into this unstuck situation now. So I hope this have helped you to get a little bit more unstuck. And if you feel called to continue this process with additional 7 questions, go download the worksheet, and the link is down below here, and walk the path through all the way to the 10th question, and you'll be on your way to your next step. I hope you found this helpful. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.